how can we remember our dreams? Question: how does when and how you wake up affect whether or not you remember your dreams? Variables. Dependent variable, time, since we're measuring how long they'd be asleep for. And my independent variable is dreams, since we're observing whether or not they would dream. Hypothesis. My hypothesis is that humans will remember their dreams if they wake up in the middle of a dream, making them more likely to remember it. Background research. For my background research, I did a bit of research on the sleep cycle because I figured it would come in handy since we dream while we sleep. The sleep cycle has 4 stages. 3 of them are non-REM and 1 of them is the magical REM sleep. Stage 1 is non-REM sleep, being the transition from wakefulness to sleep. It lasts only a brief few minutes. In it, you're basically just relaxing. Your heartbeat, breathing, and eye movement slow, your muscles relax, all that jazz. Stage 2 is also non-REM sleep. This is essentially light sleep. It's that point in time before you enter deep sleep, and you also come back into after you come out of deep sleep. Your body temperature drops, your eye movements stop entirely, as well as your heartbeat and breathing slowing more and muscles relaxing further. You spend more time in stage 2 than in any other stage. Stage 3 is non-REM sleep as well, and alas, we have reached deep sleep. This would probably be considered one of the most important stages, as it's what you need in order to feel refreshed in the morning. Everything relaxes and slows even further, your brain waves become even slower, yada yada yada. Now on to the interesting one. REM sleep. This sleep stage stands out quite a bit compared to the rest. The rest is all, oh, you relax, oh, your stuff slows down, but REM sleep is different. In this sleep stage, your brain activity becomes close to waking levels. Actually, practically identical to them. It happens about 90 minutes after you fall asleep, and your eyes, no, they don't slow down even further. They actually rapidly jolt around under your eyelids. This is what names the stage, REM. R, rapid, E, I, M, movement. Rapid eye movement sleep. REM sleep. I haven't even mentioned the most interesting part yet. REM sleep is when you dream. Yeah, you can dream in other stages, but in REM, you dream more often, more vibrantly, all of it, but more. You also become temporarily paralyzed to prevent yourself from acting out your dreams. Not necessarily important, but interesting nonetheless. Anyways, this was key. In REM, you dream. Next, I tried to figure out some hows. How can we wake up in a way that we would be more likely to remember what we dreamt about? There are actually some strategies. When you wake up, simply lay in bed and try to remember what you dreamt about. Don't do anything else for, say, 5 minutes. After, write down what you remember, or voice record, or anything of that sort to sharpen your thoughts. Dreams are still in your short-term memory when you wake up, so they're pretty easy to forget. How you feel when you wake up can also help you remember. If you think about whatever emotion you woke up with and stay with it, it can be helpful with remembering whatever you had dreamt about. There's also just not setting an alarm. Waking up to an alarm clock raises your noradrenaline levels, and noradrenaline levels being high makes it much, much harder for you to remember your dreams. After my hows, naturally came the next part of my question, the whens. To quickly remind you of my hypothesis, it was that if you were to wake up during the dream, then you'd be more likely to remember your dream. Although, after this, I'd rephrase that to, if you were to wake up during REM sleep, then you'd be more likely to remember your dream. I managed to find this charm. I'm going to quickly quote from an old yet wonderful website I stumbled upon in my research. They noticed that when subjects were woken from sleep during the phase of sleep that was characterized by rapid, jerky, and binocularly symmetrical eye movements, they were called the most vivid and elaborate dreams. Let's break this down real quick. The phase of sleep that was characterized by rapid, jerky, and binocularly symmetrical eye movements, they're talking about REM sleep. And then they say that they were able to recall the most vivid and elaborate dreams when woken up during that stage. Essentially, they're saying, if you wake up during REM sleep, you're going to be a lot more likely to remember your dreams. And what's my hypothesis? If you were to wake up during REM sleep, then you'd be more likely to remember your dreams. This directly supported my hypothesis, proving it to be correct. Here are two graphs, both of them graphing how often people remember their dreams, organized by gender. There's women and men. First, you'll notice that women remember dreams slightly more than men, being 10% more likely to remember dreams every night than men, and men being 10% more likely to remember dreams rarely than women. Which makes sense considering that women have better short-term memory for daily events, according to the Association for Psychological Science. You'll also notice that there's a never section. Yes, people have never remembered their dreams. So, as much as you can do certain things and wake up at certain times to increase your likelihood of remembering your dreams, there's also a line that you start at, which means you may already remember your dreams almost without fail, or rarely remember them at all. So even with this, remembering dreams mostly depends on the person rather than your habits. This image is showing 5 sleep stages, and is from before they were shortened to 4, stage 3 and stage 4 being grouped together to create 4 sleep stages in total, rather than 5. It shows your sleep cycle throughout the night, and how you progress through the sleep stages, including REM sleep, over time. You'll notice how the REM blocks get longer throughout the night, and you get nearly no deep sleep at the end of the night compared to the beginning. Remember to note that stage 3 and 4 is in one stage in this photo. You'll also notice how the REM blocks are just as high as wakefulness, and after a REM period, you go into stage 1 sleep again, the stage when you're transitioning from wakefulness to sleep. REM sleep is, in fact, not wakefulness, but as we know, brain activity during REM sleep is almost identical to that of when you are awake, causing us to have a brief period of stage 1 right after REM. And at last, the conclusion. My hypothesis was correct, supported directly by one of my sources I pointed out earlier. If you wake up during REM sleep, you will be more likely to remember your dreams.